Coach?
All right, first of all, obviously, thanks to River Falls and that whole community for how they welcomed us in September with our event up there. And then tonight, I didn't, obviously I'm busy in some huddles, but I know they honored some different people and recognized, the family that was with me at half court at the start of the game. Pedro actually worked camp for us several years ago for many years. Obviously, he lost his wife this past spring, so. But I think it's it's a great testament to our state of how people have rallied around a common cause that unfortunately is everywhere. And we're just happy to be able to help those three organizations up in that part of the state. Hopefully they can do good with the money we're able to supply them and help people there. In terms of the game, obviously we got a long ways to go defensively. That's not new news. Thought we did some good things at times, but as I went to the bench, I thought we got leaky in different areas, and it shows who's more ready than others. I thought Gilmore, Janicki, and McGee really gave us a boost in the second half and did simple things. Obviously Gilmore's threes jump out, but his ability to stop dribble penetration, rebound, extra effort plays, those things, and Jack obviously getting on the floor and doing simple things. And that's sometimes what younger or newer guys don't understand or completely grasp early in their careers, how important those little things are. And that's the difference in terms of having success or not. The other stuff will come and fall into place. But I thought Winter did some good things. I think he's coming as a player. Tanjay, Blackwell, and Klesmet will all shoot it better. I think we got to take better shots. We don't have to take as many threes as early, but we were wide open. I know they were really packing the paint on us. So it's why we play these. I wish we could play more, quite frankly, so I could learn more about our group. And I think every coach in the country, given the length of what we have from a late September start until now, and specifically when you have a transient nature to our game and on rosters with transfers and stuff, you just have to get them acclimated really, really fast, and you'll learn more when you play outside competition. So, questions?
Yeah.
Greg, you mentioned Kamari, 5 points, 6 assists, no turnovers. Just how was his play such a steadying influence in the second half?
Yeah, I mean that's what he's been doing, and really, he's been, as I mentioned earlier in other media access days when you guys have talked to me, he's been the most consistent, and that's what he's done day in and day out. Just he makes the teams that he's on better. And I told him as I decided who I was going to start tonight, I want to make sure you have that same energy and bounce. And I think between him and Klesmet really do a good job vocally of leading the team, and those guys are the heartbeat of it. So for him to come in, just simple things: drive it, play off 2 feet, find an open shooter. And we try to overcomplicate the game at times, and he made simple plays. And then obviously he likes defending. He got beat on some. He missed a block out a time or two, so I'm sure I'll find things on film to pick on him about. But 6 assists, no turnovers, that's good guard play.
Jim?
Greg, there are always unknowns going into a season.
There you go.
There are unknowns going into a season. This seems even more so than most because, like you said, the transient nature.
Right.
Do you know what to expect, at all? Do you?
Not yet. I mean, I'm learning, just like you guys are. And I've seen probably, what have you guys been in 4 or 5 times? Okay, I've seen 20 more practices than you have. So, yeah, I'm learning, and I think, like I mentioned at the close of my opening statement, you learn more, and that's why I'm going to push. I don't know if I can get anything accomplished, but the other coaches I talk to around the country trying to play more, get more of these. The 2 was always set up for an October 15th start, and now we start 3 weeks earlier than that. And you get to the point where practice becomes diminishing returns. You need to see outside competition to get yourself tested. You have to be exposed in some areas, and that's where we were Saturday in some areas. We were again tonight, so that'll push our learning. And we got to learn fast and learn with a lot of new guys. But every coach in the country probably is feeling that we got more back probably on average than most teams in the country. But it's still it definitely feels different. I mean, you mentioned about what do you learn. I don't know. I'm still learning about this team and who can respond, who's ready, who's got to continue to get ready.
Michael?
On that note, the way that you subbed, and you might have used the same strategy on Saturday, were you just rapid fire trying to get as many different combinations of guys on the floor just to see guys together and different?
To a degree. I mean, to a degree, but not. I mean, I stuck with the first group through the first media timeout. And then, you know, I wanted to see different combinations together. And I wish I could have played some of them a little bit, you know, different combinations. Blackwell and Klesma getting in foul trouble too didn't help that plan. That kind of threw that out the window. You try to, in your mind, think you're going to script substitution patterns, but you get in the game and somebody's playing well, somebody gets foul trouble, somebody, you know, there's always something that gets a wrench that gets thrown into it. But as I've told the guys that maybe don't get as many minutes, you better just stay ready, because you never know when your opportunity comes. And if you get, I tell them the Tom Brady story all the time, when he got 2 snaps on the scout team and then he turned it into 4 and then 8, and then, you know, everybody knows the story. Same thing, you get 4 minutes, turn it into 7, you know, turn 7 into 10. Just maximize your opportunity. And I mentioned those guys, McGee, Janicki, and Gilmore did that tonight.
Right up here,
Coach, you went to Nolan Winter with the backup 5 minutes a lot. He had 7 rebounds, led the team there, a couple of nice finishes on the inside. What do you kind of see from him playing that backup center role? And do you kind of see that as a good portion of what he could play as well?
I think we're still learning that. Not only from can he handle it, how much can he handle it, how is he impacted by guys around? And by that I mean, can we develop another bigger 5? Obviously we can get away with a little bit more tonight because they're not as big and not as physical. Leiper's physical, but he doesn't have the height. But we also have to develop some of these other 4s. And is it Ilber? Is it Amos? I mean, Gilmore, you just see what he does. I think that's his experience shows, and just how he plays so hard and diving on the floor, those things. That's what we need consistently from those other guys if they want to continue to take a step forward. So right now, it depends on matchups, who will play. I think it's a little bit by committee. I like the 2 bigs together. I think Nolan has improved enough to guard 4s and specifically mobile 4s and switch some of the ball screens. He's got to get better at stopping the ball when it comes downhill. We look at it and kind of half let it go by, half try to think we're going to block the shot. So we have to improve in all areas. Specific on the defensive end, we're nowhere near where we need to be yet, but it'll come.
Michael?
Even if it's somewhat theoretical at this point, what do you like about the 5 that you put out to start the game, specifically how the guards play together?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big lineup that has a lot of scoring punch to it. You know, it doesn't look like it tonight when those guards went 4 for 25 from 3, I think, or maybe from the field. But I've seen enough of them in practice that I know how they shoot it. I think that's a pretty, I like that group together, and I really liked them Saturday. I put them together in the latter part of, middle part of the second session we did with Northern Iowa, and I thought we had a lot of really good things, and specifically with Blackwell with the ball in his hands. He'll finish better than what he did tonight. And then it gives us McGee with a little spark off the bench. You know, a spark like he was last year. He really gives us some juice. Now it's who's going to be 7, who's going to be 8, who's going to be 9. I think there's where you see kind of the dogfight and it's not just player versus player in a position. It's a multitude of different people at different positions, and we'll just continue to help them grow and see how they develop.
Jim?
Greg, would you agree that figuring out chemistry is one of the bigger challenges probably for you this year, and how do you speed that up?
Yeah, play. I mean, that's the easiest answer and the best answer. I felt that the chemistry when they got here in June, you're always a little cautious when you have guys coming from different places and different levels of experience, how they're going to mesh together. But watching the chemistry grow off the court, how the older guys welcome the new guys in, I don't think there's not a jealousy or they understand that this where college basketball is now. That there's going to be newcomers, and there's going to be competition. And I think that's the one thing we found through, the first 25, 26 days of practice in these scrimmages is it's very competitive. And it, like I said, the 5 have kind of risen to the top, and then we'll sort out where the rest fall. But, I think from a chemistry amongst each other, they're fine. The chemistry playing together, you can tell, is not specifically, even defensively. Everybody talks about offensive chemistry and, you know, moving the ball and those things. The connections defensively are really, really important. And, you know, if you're a step late, you know, that's a layup or an open three. And we've got to get better at that. And some of these guys haven't done it. I don't think John Tanji switched a lot of screens in his career. Because it seems like he's consistently a little late reacting, and then late reacting, somebody's open. So we'll continue to help him. Like I said, the older guys, you can tell that have been here, it's much crisper and cleaner. It's when some of the newcomers get in, and we've got to make sure to get them up to speed and help them figure it out fast.
One more question for Coach. Go ahead, Michael.
You guys put up 32 threes today. Are you gonna be in that range for a large part, you think?
I mean, you look at the analytics, Michael. I mean, we've studied a lot of teams. I mean, simple math is three's worth more than two. Do we just throw it inside more in certain times? Yes. But we're gonna shoot threes because that's where the game is. I think we've got good shooters. But I'm not gonna be naive enough to know to think we can't. We're not gonna play through Steve. We'll get through inside out threes. But shooting threes is, you know, I think that's where the game has gone. And you want to have a lot of stuff in the paint. You know, the type of threes that we took, like I mentioned, the horizontal passes I said on the radio, where it's not touching the post, out, over, one more pass, out, get a defense spun around, shoot those threes. Not the one dribble, side dribble, not the horizontal pass where you got to catch it on your side. You know, you take enough of those if you get to a shot clock situation where we're scrambling, but the inside out ones are the ones that every team that's ever played here, and we'll shoot them much better when the ball's coming inside out. Get your toes set and knock them down from there. But it's a long-winded answer to your question. Yeah, we need to shoot threes.
Okay. Thank you,
Good.
Coach.
All right, you bet.
Appreciate it.